Just got done. Pre-night shift workout. Got to get it in. Move some of my stuff to another wall. But you know the deal, still had to get it in. So even today, man, it's hot as hell. I'm in the garage. You know, it's probably 80, 90 degrees out. You know, I just got up, had to get up ready for work. You know, and even though my job, man, like I enjoy it. I enjoy what I do, right? I was on my way home this morning and man, these drives, they always got to be the worst. Like if you want me to be real with you, man, like the drives that you do on the way places or the times that you might have your own thoughts and that's the only thing you have, where maybe even music doesn't drown it out, podcasts don't, you know, drown them out, and you got to think about it. And there's so many times when you want to make changes and these thoughts come in, right? I was talking to my therapist this week and a lot of it had come up about the idea of saying no and sticking to the ideals that you believe in now, right? So in your past life, it was always about kind of, you went with what you knew. Everything you did was about what you knew, right? Everything. All the choices, all the mistakes. You made a mistake, you sometimes went back and did the same mistake because it was the only thing you know. And as we know, comfort is what drives most people to make the decisions that they do. And a lot of the time, that can really make things hard later down the road. You may not see it up front, right? Like you're going to be like, ah, man, like it's okay. I made that mistake a few times. It's no big issue. I'm still doing what I do. I'm still successful. Look at my life. I have everything, yada, 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 until you realize that, man, time keeps ticking and those things add up, right? You always go into like a negative debt is what I always say, right? A negative debt is something that is just a debt of all the things that you've done negative that maybe were never addressed, you didn't get the karma from, whatever, right? And I think that it's impressive how much you're your own worst enemy, right? I could sit here and I could tell you, and I could be super upset. I could be mad. I could blame anything I want, man. You know, I could sit here and I could say, man, people left and people don't want to talk anymore and people played me out or people ghosted me. And I could be warranted to say that. You know I could. And y'all know who you are. You know you could. Friends, everything, right? But each one of you have the same amount of people or the same type of people in your life, and you know that. Here's the issue with it. If you start blaming it, even if it's their fault, even if it's their fault and you blame it, you become a blame machine. You just blame train all day long. I'm blaming this, I'm blaming that, I'm blaming this. Now, I have always tried to take responsibility for most of the mistakes I've ever done. And within the last so many years, if I made a mistake, I never made the same mistake twice. There was only very few things that I continued to make where this is the topic of you're your own worst enemy, right? You could sit here and you can say, well, I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to change my life. I'm not going to make the same mistake. And you do good for a while and you feel great because you know that you're living well and you're doing what you're supposed to do. And slowly but surely, the demons of your past or the demons of your life that you've not addressed, they start creeping in. And you don't even realize it until you start to say to yourself, all right, well, I mean, it's just once. It's just this one thing. It's just this one thing over and over until it compiles to now you have an entire, basically, pile of shit of just one times. And now it's basically overtaking your life because now you can't walk away. Your feet have sunk into that pile of shit that you're standing on. It has, man. Your feet have sunk in. You don't know what to do. You look up and you see where you're supposed to go, but you look down and you see what's comfortable. You could probably slide down, but you're not going to make it to the top if you slide down. You're not going to make it to the top if you take it easy. But as you are your worst enemy, you sit there and say, well, it's just one more. How many times are you going to say it's just one more until you sink all the way down, until you drown in one mores? And I don't mean positive one mores. I don't mean, hey, give me a chance to show I'm better. Hey, I don't mean give me a chance to show that I'm the best. Give me a chance to show that I will never be who I was in the past. I'm not talking about that. Those are positive one times. I'm talking about the negatives, that every time you said one time is one more time that it took something from you. Because every time that you sit there and say, well, I'm going to go and I'm just going to do this one more time, is one more time that you take a step backward to reaching a goal that you're supposed to reach. And that's just it, man. You sit here and you're your own worst enemy every single day. And I can tell you, man, I sit there and I drive home and I sit on my phone sometimes, man. You know, and I work night shifts sometimes on these travel jobs, and you know, I'm stuck in my thoughts. I'm stuck on the things that I've done. I'm stuck on the things that I do. And I can tell you that the key to everything of not being your own worst enemy is forgiveness. And I can tell you that that was a topic that was absolutely addressed. Forgiveness. I myself have probably never once forgiven myself for any of the mistakes that I've ever made in my life. So every one of you that have made a mistake, I bet you if you think about it, every time you go and you might do something related to that mistake, you start to second guess yourself. I don't know if I should. I don't know if I should do that, man. I don't know. But it's comfortable. It's comfortable. And I'm telling you, man, listen, I'm telling you that I could blame. I have it in me. I can feel it. That I'm going to blame somebody else. Hey, man, you made me feel like shit. Hey, these things weren't addressed. Yeah, because I wasn't comfortable. I didn't have the self-esteem. What, you think because I'm out here being super fucking successful and I've done all the shit that I've done everything, that, oh, I have the most self-esteem? Bro, that's the people that have the least self-esteem. Do you understand that? Because they're driving to be the most successful because they feel like shit. Likely, they have so much self-hate in their veins, they have to succeed. Because if they didn't succeed, they probably wouldn't even be around anymore. Because without that success feeding some type of response, whether it be dopamine or anything, they're going to want to crash down because they don't have anything else. They're their own worst enemy. They can't address the demons in the room. They can't address the skeletons in the closet. They can't address things that are going at them. So they have to succeed at such a high level. Man, we are our own worst enemy. We break down everything. We destroy every relationship, every friendship, every successful thing that is outside of the norm. Because your own one track that you're successful on is great. Tell me people who are successful, highly successful at multiple things. It is so low because the bandwidth it takes to self-realize what you have to do to be good at multiple things. You might be the most successful person at your job and you're a trash-ass family member. Listen. That's real life. Majority of the time, that's what you see. Because how you going to be 100%, 110% successful at your career and come home and turn it off? You can't. You're in it all the time. If you're not invested in that all the time, then you ain't going to be able to be above everybody else. To be the greatest athlete of all time, you had to invest every amount of yourself for the rest of your life to be able to gain that. Why do you think when they quit, these people at high-level jobs, high-level military, right? Why do you think they get like that? Because they've invested their entire identity. You have become your own worst enemy. You might be fighting an enemy on a battlefield, on an athletic environment, in a white-collar job, a blue-collar job. Except at the end of the day, you are who you're fighting because you become your own worst enemy. So don't blame, don't use the blame game. Don't think that somebody else is the reason you are the way you are. No, somebody else did an action that made you feel a certain way, that made you think you had to act a certain way. But you take that feeling you felt, you cultivate into an idea, you use self-realization to understand that you are better than whatever it is that's making you feel that way. So no matter what, man, you got to stay after it. Understand the word no. If somebody wants to come back in your life after treating you like shit, after treating you like you're a nobody, after treating you like you're no better than dirt because you've made mistakes, and they're not really about you. And when I say about you, I mean they have your back no matter what. They could be your best friend in the entire world, and no matter what, they got your back. They're bailing you out. They're doing whatever. They're not helping you get worse. They're there to support you for you to find your own way, but they're not going to let you drown. You're going to find your own way because you're going to hit the depths of the bottom where you don't know if you want to be here anymore, but they're still going to be there to assist you when you're ready. That right there, that's important. Those are the people. Everybody else, say no to. I wish that I had the superpower of no. Man, I wish I did every single day. I'm getting better. We're working hard at it. But man, there's so many times where I just say maybe. Maybe. I've gone from yes to maybe. But I'm not at no. I'm not at no, but I need to be. I need to be a no. A no is a finite answer. If you want rid of the skeletons, you want rid of the demons, you want rid of whatever's coming after you, you need a finite answer to beat that battle. To win the battle, it has to be a finite. I'm done. Done. Otherwise, maybe is infinite. Always. A no is done right now. So keep after it, man. Get after the day no matter what. Don't let somebody else tell you that you're not worth it. Never let somebody tell you that you're not worth it. Every single one of you are worth it. So keep that in mind and stay up, man.